Double integrals and average value we're going to talk about. Let's look at a simple discrete case. Suppose we have this region, x goes from 1 to 4, y goes from 1 to 3, and we have function values defined as 2, 3, 5, 3, 4, and 6. So the functions are constant on each of these squares. How would we find the average value? Well, these are equally weighted because they're each representative of the same area. So we have 2, 3, and 5, and 3, and 4, and 6. We add that up on top. Of course, you divide by the 6 numbers, which you can represent the area. If we had multiple areas with the same number, we could read that. Well, guess what? This adds up to 23. The area is 6. 23 over 6 is 4.83. Repeating, that's the average value. It's somewhere between 2 and 6. It's exactly there. We have an integration formula. Usually we have continuous functions, not these discrete functions. And here what we do is add up the function dy dx. This is equivalent to adding up all this. The area in each case was 1. And at the bottom, this is the 6. This is actually just the area. You can do this area by integration, but if it's a rectangular region, you'll normally just figure it out. So let's partially recycle a problem. Suppose we want the average value of xy on this Cartesian product. First of all, you can figure out the numerator, 1 to 4, 1 to 3, xy dy dx. We already know that's 30. We figured that out in the previous video. Then we can do the denominator. This r just means region, integrating over a region. Integrate 1 to 4, 1 to 3 dy dx, we get 6. That's just the area of this Cartesian product. 3 times 2 is 6. And our average is 30 divided by 6 or 5, quite simply put. If you were to graph this, we graphed this before. We have 1 to 4, 1 to 3. You have this rectangle, so to speak. The function value down here is 1. The function value up here is 12. Over here it's 4. Here it's 3. And it varies in between. The average function value is 5. It's somewhere in between. It all depends on how far we go along each axis. Had we come up with an average value of 15, we know the answer would have been incorrect. It's going to be somewhere in between the minimum and maximum. Exactly where, it's proportionate to how this function values in the area is distributed. It's not exactly halfway between here and here, because this is not a perfectly symmetrical figure. So it tends to go more in the x direction than the y direction, but that's exactly what the average value is. So, okay, that's all for this video.